Hi guys, welcome. I'm Tamsin, and today I'm very excited. I had a subscriber reach out to me, Micah. Thank you, Micah, and offered me some Navajo churro fleece. So here it is. This is not a fleece I can get in Canada. This is definitely a rare fleece breed. And we're going to have a chat about that too. But first, we're going to open the package. And we're going to pull out the fleece. Oh, good. They gave us some information on a little card. All right. So Navajo churro lamb fleece. Here's what it looks like. That is so cool. Bide-A-Wee Farm in Newberg, Oregon is where it's from. It's scoured, but it's dirty. The lamb tips, so there's a little fragility. Astonishingly soft, in Micah's opinion. It's multicolored. Navajo churro is a rare breed nearly wiped out by the U.S. government colonialist brutality, saved from extinction by the... I only know French pronunciation, so I'm going to go with Dene. It's probably saying it wrong, and other conservationists. It's traditionally used for weaving. They are double coated. The inner coat can be as low as 10 microns. Frequently, the wool is non-stretchy. Very disease-resistant breed. Can have 4 horns. So the farm this wool comes from also raises Jacobs and BFL crosses. That's very cool. Micah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Look at this. Oh my gosh, that you're right. That is surprisingly soft. I did not expect Navajo churro to be that soft. Wow, look at this. Look at how pretty it is. Wow. So it does have like waves rather than crimp. And waves is generally not as stretchy. Crimp is what gives it the spring. So waves tend to be a little less, what's that word I'm looking for? No idea. But look at the different colors. There's some dark brown and of course the white. So pretty. Oh, and look at this one. It's got like, they're just right next to each other, like a Jacob, I guess. I've never worked with Jacob either, so that's on my list. This is so cool. Oh my goodness, we have got to work with this. Now, thankfully, Micah went ahead and scoured it, so I could just dive straight into working with it. Now I have to decide how to work with it. All right, let's grab our Spinner's Bible here. The Fleece and Fiber Source Book, and I have looked up the Navajo churro. That's it there. See the big horns on it? So cool. Okay, so Navajo churro facts. They're 4 to 8 pounds, possibly as light as 2 pounds. Yield is 60 to 65%, most lost due to dust rather than grease. Staple length, generally 3 to 5, although it can be as short as 2. Inner coat is 10 to 35 microns, outer coat 35 microns or more, and they can have Kemp. So a wide base tapering to a narrow tip, low in grease and open, which means the fibers can easily be separated, but this wool has an interesting cohesiveness quality as well. So using Navajo churro fiber. The white takes color nicely. The natural colors can be over-dyed. Washing is optional because of the low grease quantities. Can be spun from the pick lock, carded, or combed if the fleece is not the sort where combing results in too much waste. The customary Navajo preparation method is carding, which keeps the original fiber blend together. All right, so I guess we're going to try carding. Traditionally, Navajo churro yarn is spun from roll legs on a Navajo's hand spindle in a 2-step process where the rolled legs are first attenuated and joined together with a small amount of twist added, and then are fully drafted out and turned into yarn. You can use any spinning technique or tools that you find comfortable. The wool can be a bit draggy in the drafting, and you want to make sure to keep the different types of fibers feeding together evenly. It's best known for long heritage, natural colors, sweet luster, and durability. All right, so we can start playing around with this. I'll just move this aside. And then I think we shall try carding it. All right, so we want to try to keep all our fibers together. You can see that they are very interested in their environment. That's what I call it when they, just incorporate their entire environment into their fleece. And there is some compares. There's one right there and one right there. So we'll just pick those out. But I believe we will try just carding this. I don't have a Navajo spindle. It's one I want to get because I love them. They're the really long ones that kind of, the tip is on the floor and you can spin it on your lap. They're really cool. I do want to get one. But I don't currently have one. So I believe we will just spin it on a drop spindle. Thank you, Micah. I'm so excited about this. All right, let me get reset for a little bit of spinning and I'll be right back. All right, I got my hand cards and I have a hand spindle. Look how pretty that one is. It's just a resin one with that gorgeous butterfly shape inside. It's so pretty and sparkly. So I'm going to use this one. It does have a fairly large whirl, which means it's going to be quite heavy. But I actually prefer heavier spindles. Now I'm going to blend the colors. So I'm just going to grab a handful and just load it onto the cards. And I am using my 72 TPI. If I used my finer hand cards, it would probably pull those coats apart. Oh, there's still a little bit of sparkle trapped in this from the yeet with yarn, so we may end up with a little sparkle in our Navajo churro. Since I'm just doing some testing right now, I'm not going to worry too much about that. Now there is fine debris in the fleece, like a lot of sandy type grit, which again, I'm not going to worry too much about right now because we're just experimenting. But using the finer hand cards might actually get that out. All right. This just combs beautifully. All right. Wow, this comes out really poofy once you carded it. So surprisingly soft, though. Wow. This would be an interesting one to send for a micron count. Okay, so we have a roll egg. Now, let's grab another handful here, but we're going to try to get a little more white. Load this onto our hand cards. Now, because this puffs up so much, oh, that's so squishy, guys. Wish you could feel this. I'm going to try to load a little less this time. so pretty. I think that's probably good enough. So we're gonna, oh, there's a little bit of sparkle in there. Can you see it? All right. Just gonna fold this end's a little thinner, so I'm gonna fold that over. Probably should have carded it one more time, but oh well. It is what it is. Right, so this is just really a rough sampling just to become familiar with the characteristics of the fleece. So 2 roll eggs is going to be more than enough. Then we're going to just kind of stretch it out, pre-draft it a little bit. Yeah, I probably should have carded that again. I can still feel little lumps of locks, but that's all right. I'm going to go with it anyways. So stretch that one out. I'm going to start with this one. I can't believe how soft this is. I really thought it would be a medium grade yarn, but this is like totally almost fine. All right, so we're going to wrap this around the hook. So I'm just giving a little twist, hook, go around the hook, hook, just to kind of get that to hold on. So I'm going to twist towards me. So I want to remember when I'm spinning upright, we're going to go counterclockwise. Oh, here comes Bobo. He just hopped over and looked at me like, hi, I'm here. He's like, don't touch me. I know what you're going to do. You're going to pick me up for the camera. Come here and say hi to the peeps, Bobo. Oh, he's all wet because it's raining outside. Look up. Say hi. Mwah. My little sweetie pie. That's his catio. Cameo? Instead of a cameo, it's a catio. No, wait, that's what he has outside. He's blessed us with his presence. We'll go with that. All right. So I'm just trying to get a leader going here, so I'm not too worried about double drafting out my slubs right now. And I think I have enough. So now I'll just go down and around the shaft, not taking it off the hook. And then I'll go back up. And then because this is a resin and it's very slippery, I am going to half hitch it onto the hook. If you're using wood or if you have a notch, that will hold the yarn in place. But with using the resin and it being so slippery, I find it's just easier to put a half hitch around the hook. All right, and we're going to spin counterclockwise. And I'll have to get some weight on this spindle for it to start spinning properly. All right. There we go. I'm going to draft it out fairly fine. So when I'm spinning with a hand spindle, generally what I'm doing, okay, hold on, just going to butterfly that up and wind it on. Now everybody has to find their own comfortable way of using hand spindles, but what I found that works really well for me is, so I draft here. Got to get a little bit going here. All right. So I will hook it over my little finger. Draft here. Oops. and then let the twist in. Let me see if I can demonstrate that without losing everything. All right, get my spin going on here. All right, so I'm drafting here, but I'm holding here to keep the twist from sliding into my drafting zone. And that gives me more control with the draft because the twist can't get in it because my little finger here is actually stopping the twist from traveling up to here. Now, like I said, everybody's got to find out their own method of what's comfortable for using a hand spindle. I just find that works really well for me because oftentimes when I'm using hand spindles, the twist will get into the draft and then I have to fight that and try to keep it twisting, and oh, it just turns into a mess. So let's just get that drafted on so you can see I can get a fairly fine spin going. And I always try to keep enough twist in it while I'm spinning the length that it won't fall apart, but I always give it extra twist before I wind it onto the spindle. So you can see how there some of the twist had gotten up, so it was really hard to draft out this section. So now I'll pinch there while I give my spindle a twist. Now my finger is stopping the twist from entering into there until I'm ready to get up there. So my little finger, draft, slide, draft, slide, draft, slide. And that just works for me. Then when I get to my spindles hit the ground, but it is still adding twist, well, until it ran into my foot. So now I'm going to give it an extra spin. Now while that's adding twist, I'm going to butterfly it up, unhook, wind on, back up, and take a little more off. There we go. Now, like I said, if you're using a wooden spindle, you don't have to worry about that half hitch generally, or if you have a notch, it'll just stay there. But with this, if I don't do that, it'll slide all around here. Next thing you know, it pulls all the yarn off and it just makes a mess. But that's just with these acrylic resin spindles that I use. I bought them because they're pretty. I mean, look at that. Look how pretty that is. All right. And we're ready to go again. So little finger stops the twist, draft, slide, draft, slide. And that way there's never any twist in my draft because it's stopped by my little finger. So draft, I can use the pinch ahead of the twist. So now that one got a little bit thin, but all right. My spindle was still twirling, so I was getting enough twist there. I didn't need to give it another spin before putting it on. Now you can see here I got just a little bit too thin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break that off. I'm going to fluff my fibers. Untwist and fluff. Look, there's a little kip here. We'll pick that out while we're there. There we go. And I'll put my fibers together. I'm going to unwrap a little bit so that I am wow. I'm having a good day today. All right, there we go. So that way, where I'm going to be joining is up here. So I'm not trying to join right at my hook because that'll just cause problems. So there's my join. I'm going to draft ahead of that, let the twist in, and it's like it never happened. Except that I lost my spin. All right, there we go. Hand spindling can really be fun. I can enjoy it on the right occasion. When I'm not going for like tons of production, although there are people who can like produce amazing amounts of yarn on a hand spindle, I am not yet one of them. So I only do this when I just want to enjoy the fleece I'm working with and the feel of making it by hand, because it is a pretty zen experience once you get a handle on it. I know it's incredibly frustrating when you're starting, but once you figure out a technique that works for you, you can see there I had too much twist in the draft. So I'll unwrap that. So I will be working above the break. I am getting really thin on this. I should probably aim for a little thicker. Just make sure that when that happens that you fluff out that end, because trying to twist a yarn to a yarn is not going to work very well. Now this one doesn't want to untwist very well, so if I can at least get it a little bit fluffy so those fibers can grab onto each other. Get my half hitch on here. Come on, get on there. Oh, I missed my hook completely. There we go. All right. So we will give it a bit of a spin. You can even let that twist build up, then stop it, add your fibers, draft them together, and then let your twist in. And see, it's still not enough twist to hold it together. So I'm going to fluff this out further. And I'm going to build up a bunch of twist without snapping the yarn underneath. Draft past that point. And then I'm going to add some more twist again. All right, now I have a solid join and I can continue. I'm going to stop drafting quite as fine because I'm getting way too fine on this. Definitely should have carded it some more because I do have some lumps and bumps that could have easily been taken out by hand cards, but I was in a hurry and didn't do it properly. So there we go. Now I believe that Navajo churro for weaving is not traditionally plied. It's just spun with a very high twist. But I think I'm going to do a quick ply on this just for giggles because I'm, playing with a new fleece. So I'm just going to do my Andean ply bracelets around the back of the hand, around the middle finger, around the back of the hand, then around the middle finger. And just do it loosely because you got to take your middle finger out of there, so you don't want it so tight that it won't let go of your finger. And even if you get little pigtails happening, it's all right. We're going to get them out before we ply. There we go. All right. So then I'm going to take my ends. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tie them together so I don't lose an end. That's why I always wrap that beginning one around my thumb, is so I don't lose the end. And then we're just going to pull those fibers off our middle finger, and there's our plying bracelet. So we're going to go between the strands of the ply. Just put our post between the strands, bring it up, and half hitch on our hook. All right, so we spun it counterclockwise, so we're going to ply it clockwise. I have a drunken spindle. So the way the bracelet works, you can see I need more. So you just tuck your hand between the strands and pull back, and then even out your plies. Now you can see I have a little pigtail here, and it stubbornly does not want to come out. So rather than have a pigtail in my ply, I'll grab it by the end, even it out, and there we go. All right, so we'll add some more twist. Now my spindle is to the floor. I'm just letting it add twist, and I'm just looking at the yarn to see how I like the ply back. I don't know if I can make that focus. So it still, I think, needs a bit more twist. So I will just give this a twist and just hold it, pinch it at the top of those two plies, and let it add the twist. And then when I'm happy with it, I just stuck the spindle, butterfly, unhook here, then there we go. Wind it on till I get back to where I like the twist. Half hitch and clockwise. The spindle is just so pretty. And this fleece is just so soft. It's lovely. I'm absolutely amazed. And I'm just letting it add the twist until I'm happy with the ply. I'd say right about there. Oh, just as it runs out of twist. Isn't that handy? So you can see when I let it fold back on itself that it gently plies back on itself, which is kind of where I like my plied yarn to be. So just wrap it on here for a moment. Then we'll use our body knotty, since it's just a small sample. There we go. If you're using your body knotty and you can't really tie it there, you can just grip all your plies and like bend your arm to loosen the tension on it and slide it around. And then you're working here instead of trying to tie all the way up here by your thumb, which, unless you're double jointed or very flexible or very coordinated, none of which I am, it can be very hard to try to tie it up there. It's easier to tie it down here. All right, so there we go. There's our sample of Navajo Churro. It's gorgeous. I mean, like, granted, my row legs and spinning are not the best, but I was just doing a quick sampling. Now I know I need to card it more to get it more evenly spread out so I don't get these lumps, bumps, and locks. So that is user error, not fleece error. The fleece is gorgeous and beautiful and amazing. So that's it for today, guys. This is the Navajo Churro sample that we spun. It's amazingly soft. Look at this. It's so pretty. Thank you so much, Micah. I'm going to enjoy this so very much. I really, really appreciate the gift. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you guys like this video, do the stuff down below because I do stuff like this all the time. Thanks for joining me, guys. Bye.